Hi! Welcome to my super new channel. My name is Mitzi, and this channel is all about the art of making bread at home. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe or comment below and help my channel grow. Today I want to share with you one of my favorite classic recipes for delicious homemade focaccia bread. Focaccia has a very light and airy composition. It can't be too dense, nor it can be too thick or too thin. The perfect thickness is anywhere between 3/4 to inch, maybe inch and a half. The secret to this recipe is making what's called a pre-ferment, which gives dough its strength and helps create those large air pockets that hold all that authentic and intense focaccia flavor. Alright, let's start by making the pre-ferment. We will need to measure 100 grams of flour and pour it in a bowl which you will use specifically only to make the pre-ferment. To this you will add a teaspoon of regular yeast, then add 100 milliliter of room temperature water and mix it all up. Cover it all with plastic foil and a kitchen towel, or you can use only the towel if your kitchen is warm enough. It will take anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes for your pre-ferments to rise depending on the warmth of your kitchen. Make sure you have something fun to do. These days, the city of Genoa is considered to be the epicenter for traditional Italian focaccia. In the southern Italian town of Bari, on the other hand, you will find a different type of focaccia called FOCACCIA BREAD, and this focaccia is made out of durum wheat flour and it's topped with rosemary, tomatoes, olives and salt. The focaccia we'll be making today will pull inspiration from both regions by using classic ingredients such as rosemary and salt. Alright, now that an hour has passed and my drawings are done, let's start making the focaccia dough. We will need 400 grams of flour that we will add to a new larger bowl. Add half a tablespoon of regular salt and mix well. Okay, so we are now ready to pour our pre-ferment. Notice how it has more than doubled in size and it has all those bubbles in it. It also has a really nice doughy, yeasty smell. And that's what's going to give us all that amazing flavor and texture. Once you've poured all of your pre-ferment, also known as sponge, add 280 milliliters of room temperature water. Make sure not to add all the water at once. Depending on the flour you use, you may need less or more. Either way, keep adding little by little. Add 4 teaspoons of olive oil and mix well. In the end, this is the consistency you want to get. The dough should have more of a sticky consistency. Cover it with a towel and wait 5 minutes. This is a very soft dough. We can't really knead it, but we do need to develop gluten. So all we will be doing is making folds in the dough. To make the folds, keep your hands moist whenever you touch the dough to minimize the stickiness. The first time around, the dough will be more sticky and that's okay. All you have to do is pull the ends of the dough to the center. Do this 4 to 5 times around in a circle, but no more than that. Cover it and let it sit for another 5 minutes. In the second fold, you'll see the dough will have gained some structure. It looks slightly firmer, but we'll still need to moisten our hands. Again, we'll cover it and let it sit for another 5 minutes. notice the dough will be much firmer and won't stick as much. We'll still wet our hands, but this time we'll do a different type of maneuver. Place both of your hands under the dough and gently lift it up. If you find the edges are sticking to the bowl, you can gently peel the edges off with the tip of your fingers. Turn the bowl around and repeat the move. Make sure to fold the ends underneath each time you lift it up. 2 to 3 times would be more than enough. And again, cover it and let it sit another 5 minutes. Fourth time around and we'll do the exact same. The dough is already much firmer. Alright, last 5 minutes. At this point, the dough is sufficiently firm. You'll also notice bubbles showing up on the surface. This is a good sign as the pre-ferment is working hard. Do the same sequence of folds. And now we are ready to wait for another 45 to 60 minutes for the dough to fully rise and double in size. Okay, we can now preheat the oven and get everything ready. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and then at the very end of the baking process, you can just increase it to 250 just to give your focaccia that really nice brown layer at the top. The total time will vary depending on your oven, but it can be anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 25, but keep an eye on it. Make sure you generously oil the pan. Just look at the size of that dough, it's still bubbling. With wet hands, gently peel off the dough from the edges of the bowl. As before, place both hands under the dough, gently lift it up and immediately place it on the baking sheet. With your fingertips, make indents in the dough and very gently stretch it to fit the pan. If you find your dough is very elastic and it's pulling back, just let it rest under the towel for another 5 minutes. Roughly chop the rosemary and make sure to cover the whole surface of the dough. You can also lightly push it in. Use the coarse salt. Make sure not to overdo it as we have already properly seasoned the dough. And finally, olive oil. Lots of it. And now the moment of truth. You most definitely can add more olive oil to it once it's done. Our focaccia has larger pockets that hold all the flavor and it's so soft and squishy. And the taste is Make sure you don't stop at these toppings. You can use anything from grapes and prosciutto to parmesan and zucchini and eggplant and tomatoes. Whatever your heart desires. You can also eat focaccia as an appetizer or main dish or even turn it into a sandwich. Even my cats were interested. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, or if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I will be posting a new video every Thursday. Till then, bye!